Yazol.
Hello and welcome to the Hot Kitchen of Yazol Podcast. We are the three amigos, your story chefs on duty, cooking you some of the hottest stories from out there, Sot Sukun. And now, straight out of Vancouver, Canada, the big man, Zol Kebir on the wheels of steel. Please welcome DJ Bakumba.
Dedi Bakumba in the house. You guys are welcome. Always share, subscribe, and comment, please. Thank you.
All right. And from Edmonton, his friends call him Le Japonais, music teacher and master guitarist. Please welcome the birthday boy today, Dennis Lissa.
Okay, thank you all. Welcome on board.
Yes, and I am your chef on the grill, Dedi Seyi, Sultan of Small London, Zol Kebir, Musaran Select. So coming up today on Yazol Podcast, we have the highlights. From South Sudan, we have a little update on the South Sudan Premier League, which is ongoing. And in Rumbek, somebody decided to cut off their thing. And the chiefs in South Sudan have called to be included in the constitution-making process. Governor Jelda has summoned the commissioner of Kajukeji over the rampant illegal logging of trees in central Equatoria. And from the African continent, Tanzanian gospel artist has decided to ban his Mercedes-Benz. We'll tell you the reason why. And Nigeria has included phone repair, makeup, baking, and even event decoration on the basic activities into the curriculum of the schools. So all those stories coming up on your favorite podcast of called Yazol Podcast, Sot Sukun, the hottest trending stories from out there.
Yazol.
And this week, our African proverb of the week says, let a man go out in his desperation to hunt. If he kills an elephant, his poverty ends. If the elephant kills him, his poverty also ends. So both ways, poverty ends. What do you think of the proverb Bakumba? And Jegde can roar, can no cattle elephant, he's okay. Can elephant cattle man is the same.
I think that my understanding is just like in life, you don't just sit around. You need to hustle.
Yeah.
Find something. Anything good, anything bad, you always find it. If you're on the move, if you're doing something, you cannot just sit around doing nothing. You can. Yeah. If you sit around, you will not find anything good. But if you move around, you bad and good are on the way. That's my interpretation. There's always be on the move.
Yeah. But there's always no negative interpretation. all interpretations are correct. Dennis, what do you think?
I think in my understanding is like if you are in desperation, you have to act regardless of whether of what kind of challenges that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So either you are killed or you kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
This proverb almost sounds like the one we had last week, right?
Kind of, yes. Kind of, yeah.
Yazol.
Right, let's go to our first update on the South Sudan Premier League, which is ongoing right now. So Almeric Bentiu basically handed Koriom FC of Bor their first defeat of the season, which happened on Friday. They did a big comeback after winning 3-2 in front of a big crowd. For this time, I don't know whatever happened, but Juba Stadium was packed full. There was a lot of spectators for that game. And then, of course, Melekia FC was also playing, where they beat Olympic rank. Qatar is top of the Premier League, beating almost everybody in their games. They have 16 points. And Almeric and Koriom, of course, 15 points each, second and third place, and then Jammus fourth place. Everybody else is bottom, and we're not going to talk about them unless they move up, you know yourselves, do your best and come up. So that's the South Sudan Premier League. I know, Dennis, you're not too much into it, but Bakumba, what's your take on the Premier League so far?
I think so far it looks good. After once in a while, they stream most of the matches on their Facebook group, which is really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a glimpse of it once in a while, and I like the jerseys, the colors of the team. Some of the games, there is no that much crowd. I don't know how much they're charging at the gates, but all in all, it looks very professional to me. It's actually a professional league, and the Juba Stadium, obviously, the ground is neat, even better than probably most of the Kenyan stadiums or other stadiums in East Africa. So the league is really good. It looks very, very professional. I like
I think the FA needs to now invest in other venues somewhere, right? Because some of these teams are from the States.
That's right.
And they can only play at Juba, so it's important that they try that. Yeah. So that's the South Sudan Premier League for you, and we hope to keep updating you as the year goes down.
Yazol.
Let's go to our first story from Rumbek, where a 28-year-old man has decided to castrate himself. He was taken to hospital, of course, after doing whatever he did. That was on Monday. And many are saying it's because of a psychological reason. Apparently, also in Tanzania this past week, Wahid min Tanzania Zel Kaman Gata Tobara, he was arrested in that case, and he said he cut his off because he was trying to serve God so that there's no distractions. Dennis, is he really trying to serve God, or he just has mental issues like our brother from Rumbek?
I'm still maintaining that what is happening right now, in Africa in terms of religion, it has nothing to do with Christianity. Most people are developing kind of a Christian-like kind of cult, and then do whatever they want to do, give it a different kind of interpretation. At the same time, mental issue is rampant in our society, but we may not have a proper diagnosis of those mental issues. So that's why sometimes people behave in a way that we may not be able to understand, but at the core of it you find that there is a mental issue. 2 years ago, one of the medical students who decided to kill his nephew and niece.
Yes.
It brought a lot of controversy. People were wondering, was this person normal? But it is kind of the issues that, we find it in some of the society, but they are diagnosed under the mental issue. So for a man to castrate himself, this is too much, because the pride of the man is in the manhood. If there is no manhood there, then what is the meaning of life? So if there is no manhood, there is no meaning of life. So for a person to have the guts to cut his manhood, that is big volumes.
So before Fifi Jektani Bakumba Galo be threatened marathon. Say if you continue behaving the way you are, I will cut it off. Marades like, please don't.
Okay.
What do you think about our brother from Rumbek do Bakumba?
I think it could be like Dennis said, for somebody actually to take a knife and cut off his upper shot, it requires quite a little bit of mental degradation, whether it be religiously or whatever, because that is the pride of any living human man.
At least this time the Janafar did not do the circumcision.
Janafar did not do the circumcision this time.
Yes.
And then I think the Tanzanian brother probably he read the Bible too much into detail, because according to the Bible, I think they can either if their hand is pulling you somewhere, cut it off.
Chop it off. Yeah.
It's good to go to heaven with one hand than
one eye.
So then they can apashato they go this issue of the Katia as well. So Galafi cannot cut, at least let him go without his manhood. But at least the rest of the body will be in paradise without the manhood. So I don't know what kind of paradise that will be. So
no 7 virgins like. So and we have another story coming from Tanzania too, so just be on the lookout for that coming up today. All right, let's go to South Sudan, of course, via the USA, where Joseph Deng has made history as the first South Sudanese player to be included in an MLB team. That is a baseball team. He'll be playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers. 17 years old. He's a right-hand man, so because baseball, there's a lot of throwing. So it's a big thing, right? 6'7" too. He's also a big guy. 185 pounds. I think that opens a new arena for South Sudanese, boys and girls to also look at, opportunities like that. I know African boys and girls in Canada now are very big into hockey. I know if you go to most of the arenas, you'll now at least see 1 or 2 African people playing, hockey in Canada, and that became because of the 2 Suban brothers. Is that the name, Bakumba? Who were playing hockey before, right? It always encourages,
Yeah.
Dennis, what's your take on this one? Are you now going to put your boy into baseball because it's an opportunity?
Yeah, I'm not athletic myself, but but it kind of open a ways, like sometimes some people have to set the precedent, like kind of something for them to look up to. For Remodule, when Remodule started playing in NBA,
yes,
it kind of opened the way for other South Sudanese to try to make it in that position. You see the president of South Sudan basketball league, so he kind of followed the same kind of footstep. So I like in Alberta here we have a lot of Sudanese kids that has gone into athletics, like they have made a big name for themselves. There is a young Sudanese boy who kind of does running. So he has created a name for himself and his family, So those are the things that kind of give sense of purpose to our South Sudanese boys instead of for them getting into some other activity that bring us down as a society.
Which is a good thing, right, Bakumba?
Yeah, it's very impressive to join the baseball league. It's a big deal. Usually, most of leagues dominated by there are a lot of blacks in the baseball, but mostly from either Cuba or mostly South American countries. But we really don't have that many Africans that actually the MLT league. So it's a great opening, not only for South Sudanese alone, I think, for a motivation to other Africans too, that actually that sport is possible. And a lot of us, a lot of people actually, me myself, I don't follow baseball that much, but I know baseball has even the contracts are crazy. Those players make millions of dollars.
Lots of money.
They make a lot of money. So it's another avenue that parents any opportunity, of course, is to be able to. I mean, we Africans, we can always do anything. Any sport you put us in, most of the time we're going to excel anyway. So so one there, and then I see there's a bunch of South Sudanese immigrants also in Australia, already in the Australian football league, I believe. There were one or two. So a lot of things are going on, it's a great thing.
Yeah, it's always a good motivation thing, right? So we wish them all the best, and we wish Joseph all the best.
Yazol.
All right, let's go to Juba now, where the steering committee of the National Council of Traditional Leaders has stressed the need for traditional leaders to be included in the constitution-making process. That was on Friday during a meeting of the committee in Juba. Of course, it does make sense, Dennis, right? Because we have, even in the hierarchy of our courts, the A courts are the B courts. So A courts being national and state top, and then the B courts being county, and then Payam, and then at the C level, there's always the traditional authority courts. And all that. So basically, the constitution itself affects everybody, and considering that we have the traditional structure, it makes sense for the leaders and traditional then to be included, right? Because I think South Sudan is looking to make a constitution preparation for next year or this year.
Yeah, to me it makes a lot of sense because the government has to be reflective of the society.
Yeah.
And that kind of limits the tension, because normally if the decision is done at the top and the society at the bottom doesn't understand exactly what is happening, that kind of create kind of a tension, and people will find that their government is not kind of reflective of their society. Zaman the COVID, people were called for a prayer.
Yeah.
Because it was a national tragedy.
Yeah.
So if you white with African traditionalist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was called to come and pray.
to pour his libations and
Ismunyan Bishop.
Yeah.
So it created a lot of controversy. But because people were saying that there is no connection between the light and the darkness, But he is a member of the society.
Who belongs to the darkness?
Who's light and who's darkness?
So he's a member of the society too, and he's concerned. Though he believes in a traditional African spirituality, but at the same time he's concerned about his society.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's another side of the story. But all in all, I kind of find that that's the right decision to do. Like government should reflect the society.
And we all know what the chiefs did during our war, right? The chiefs are very, very important.
Instrumental, yeah.
In the liberation war, so they really are part of our society. You can't take that away. Bakumba, this constitution making process, do you think Hakuma is going to actually deliver constitution before elections possible?
I really doubt. Constitution making process is usually not that easy. It takes long even before people ratify it. It's just writing it alone takes a lot of time. So if elections are to be done in 2 years, constitution making process will probably take you at least. I mean, if you just take it, for example, the Kenyan constitution, since we were elementary school until we came to Canada, they were still working on the constitution.
Until 2010, right? It took almost 20 years.
20 years. 20 years. So constitution making is not, but I think it's high time to collect the views. But I don't think it's going to, if we produce a constitution in 2 years or 3 years, that's going to be a bad constitution, no doubt about it. The constitution making process requires a lot of trial and errors until that time when we can get something. And you need to include everybody, including the traditionalists, the atheists, the Muslims. They're not to be dominated by one section of the society. So
So not one fundamentalist group becomes the boss.
That's right.
Like I just learned that like until now, Sudan doesn't, the mother Sudan doesn't have the permanent constitution.
Is it? Yeah.
And separate. We still work with the transitional constitution. Mind the constitution.
That's right.
And a constitution is critical for good governance too, right? Because it's like a foundation. So foundation mafi jua boaga. All right. Let's go to South Sudan again, to Juba in this case, where His Excellency Agustino Jadala has summoned the Commissioner of Kajukeji, that is David Lissa, Christopher, and the security coordinator, to address allegations of illegal logging in the state. Just rampant. People are cutting down the trees, very pristine trees, very important trees, big trees in the state, without any regard for any environment or whatever. So I think that the governor did the good thing by summoning the commissioner. And I think they recalled some of the trucks back from the border. Instead of entering Uganda, they told them to take all those logs back to where they got them from. I know many families also do have tick, especially in my state. We have private people who have planted tick and would want to go into logging, but in this case you can't do it, right? Because any tick that shows up at the border crossing could be illegal. So there needs to be a structure in that regard, right? We saw in the previous week what happened with the Rizik stopping the mining in Western Bararugazal. So environment really is critical. Last time there was even an article that came out about Tanzania and South Sudan being top of the countries where deforestation and desertification is really, really prone. So it seems people still don't get the ideal girl as Jara Mohim. People cut down trees because of Faham. People cut down trees because of whatever reasons. Long term is not looking good, right, Dennis?
I think in the long term, it doesn't look good. But there are some goods that are the public property. It doesn't belong to individual. And then every member of the society are supposed to get some piece of that in terms of the service that are being done by the government. Last week we talked about illegal mining in Western Baragazal. Mine is a public goods. The same thing for the log. But for the log also it has some environmental elements associated to it. Because if you are just cutting down the tree without taking environment into account, down the road in the long term we find that you are dealing with another big problem that you won't be able to contain. So I think it is a part of the responsibility of the local government to make sure that those illegal activities are being stopped.
This is in our county there. Do you think these illegal machines that these people bringing into the country to cut down all those trees. Some of our people are in there, or they're foreigners.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually to the 2019 when I was there, I actually talked to a lot of people, and we saw the deforestation, like trees that were indigenous trees that have been there for many years have been cut down, and most of these were perpetuated by our own people, especially during those time of the IO movement.
Yes.
So that area was just lawless. They would just log anything, and a lot of people, even from our own community in Kajukeji, they became actually very wealthy using those illegal logging. So most of them were driven by our own people through proxy for other people that but they're all sold in Kampala, sold in Uganda, and most of them, even some of them will go all the way to China, to make some things there. So it's very sad, and it's going to take years and years to be able to plant more trees. The area has really been destroyed very bad.
I saw there was the documentary from that time that the Kenyan journalist did.
Exactly.
So it does make sense. Always be out there on a watch out, because if you commit any public offense, Bakumba Sot will akudita. Jelda Sot Sukun, But apparently today Bakumba is on a peace mission. Jelda Mabakuduzol, and he will tell us why. Go ahead.
There's a video online recorded somewhere in South Sudan. I'm not sure if it's Juba or somewhere. But it's of a young boy. I came to find out that the boy is he lives with the parents actually, and from the Luba community. And the one random guy just asked him with his own camera, "Where are you coming from?" He look like he's either 5 or 6 or even less. So and then you can see the boy is very serious. He did his hustle, he's coming home, bringing something. According to the mother, the father doesn't have a job. She doesn't have a job either, but the boy really goes out there, hustle, selling some goods here and there, and bring something to the family to eat, And so that was really very impressive. That in tough situations like this, the little boy can do something. In South Sudan, you need to grow fast. In Sudan in general, you need to grow very fast. They will be able to support your family. So, but I hope that I was reading comments online. Some people are trying to put things together, maybe sending to school. If you watch the video, it's very impressive. So I think maybe one day they can actually go to school and be actually successful more. So big up to that boy, keep the hustle, and God willing, if he gets sponsors, then he can go to school.
I know people, because it's Juba Giafa, the guy who did the video. People are already donating. Somebody from Australia sent $200 and all that, so it's good. He'll end up somewhere positive at least. So that's the significance of online, the social media, which some people apparently out there don't seem to see the benefit of it.
That's right.
Of course, every time you hear that sound, you know what time it is. It's time for Beyond the Beats with Dennis Lissa, our music teacher and master guitarist. Of course, he always goes behind the sound and the music to bring us enlightening stories. And today, he's going to enlighten us about the demise of the music band phenomenon. Dennis, go ahead.
So the deal, in the last 10-20 years, we have been wondering where has the band gone. We have in terms of the Congolese music, we know that there is Wenge Musika, there is Quarter Latin,
there Omide
Omide, and then Roga Extra Musika, and then for us in Sudan, we have we used to have in Khartoum, we used to have a Luanga Musica.
Okay.
We used to have top music. We used to have Lomerica.
Yeah.
Lomerica Ruka Ziada.
Yeah, that relative of mine. Huh?
Yeah. Dr. Angelo Moyo.
Yeah.
So, but in the last 10 years, all those phenomena, you can see that those bands have disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Including
we
as JJD and the ones in
that's
Juba.
JJD music,
Yeah.
And then we are wondering what happened to those bands, like why bands are disappearing. And now people are going solo, people are just producing their own music. What is happening to bands? I have come up with some of the reasons to see why a lot of bands have disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is the technology.
Okay.
Before, you need a band to produce music.
Mm-hmm.
But now you don't.
Yeah.
You can, with your laptop, you can just produce your own music. You can play all the track by yourself and then sing to your beats, and now you have your own music.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the technology for music consumption also changed.
Yeah.
You don't need also to go to music store to buy music. You can just stream the music online
Mm-hmm.
and listen to music. So technology is playing a big part in terms of band disappearing. And then the other thing is the band dynamics. Yeah, you know, a lot of them, to bring them together,
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of interpersonal conflict, there is a lot of things, and you have to manage.
Mm-hmm.
But with technology, going back again to technology, it is easy to eliminate those things. You don't need those things at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Thirdly, promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It is easy to bring a solo artist. يعني هسه فنانين اللي بيجونا في North America هنا as Diamond, as Davido.
Mm-hmm.
Just you bring them with their laptop and then they make a big show for you.
Yeah.
And then they take all the money by themselves, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe when we deal with the promoter, they give you, they slice some money to you.
Yeah.
But the rest of the money you cut. It is a split between the promoter and then the singer.
Mm-hmm.
So those have kind of added to the factor that, you know, a lot of bands are kind of disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the change in taste, the music. Zaman anaweza kuna binasma wenge musika wala binasma da. You see there is a lot of solo line, a lot of ajad mafia say. You just use a simple technology and then you can reproduce all those songs on your own. So there is a kind of a test and a change in the taste of the music. So our prediction is the band will continue to disappear, and they will disappear in the terms of, you know, a lot of band coming up. Or people who maintain band, they will be maintaining band, but at a very high cost. Likely, the band are gonna split.
So that's what we have for Beyond the Beats from Dennis Lissa. Of course, always be on the lookout for more from this segment.
Yazol.
Now let's go to Tanzania, where a Tanzanian musician, Good Luck, Gozbert, has shown his fans some viral photos of himself burning a Mercedes-Benz C-Class 200, which was given to him as a gift from a famous Tanzanian pastor, Davy. The prophet basically, out of his generosity, called this guy to his church, and then he was able to give him some money and the Mercedes-Benz. But then this guy now decides that he's burning it because the gift has not been, has displeased God. So the video is out there. I know some Tanzanian legal analysts are trying to, see if he committed any public offense according to the Tanzanian Penal Code, because when you ban something like that, you have to apparently get some license or something. But the story goes also his wife is involved, because Maradegal, every time she woke up, she would look outside in the middle of the night, and Arabia Tarayul Dore, it looks like a coffin instead of a car. So she told the husband he would look at it, but he didn't see. And then sometimes when she woke up, she would find snakes. So I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes, right? This guy is also saying that apparently some people were after him because they wanted him dead. They took his star. Girl, I don't know what that means, but basically they want to knock him off. There's a lot of dark play in this case. Bakumba, Jelda, do you think he's real? Is this thing, because Guzbat is a very big name in Tanzania in terms of gospel. He's almost at the same level as a Diamond. People who don't know his music, you can go online and check him out. He's a pretty versatile and very kind of focused musician, but in the last 3 years, he's basically gone dead. And so now people are saying, because Wodilo Arabia in 2021, so people are saying, oh, since he got that gift, now it has killed his chart. What do you think?
I mean, like you talked last time about clever gym,
his wife.
I'm little witchcraft and this kind of thing. There are a lot of things that goes on. I mean, like we usually say, it's very hard to understand spiritual things, but it depends on what anybody believes. So can Arabia that pastor do something that is whatever, whether it's witchcraft or whatever they want to believe, maybe it's something that you never know, right? So Jelda we will never understand. And it could be just his music is going down too. You know, you never know, it's just suddenly disappearing. And I mean, naturally sometimes people lose that kind of energy from singing too. So there are a lot of factors out there that we will never understand if it's exactly spiritual. So I don't know why he came the car in the first place. Why didn't he just return the car at that time when the wife started singing the coffin and whatever they're saying? He would have just returned the car, tell them, pastor, thank you sir for your gift, but I don't want it. Like maybe would have solved the problem. So, but he came the car for all this until his career has gone down. Now, almost 4 or 5 years later, he's burning that wood looks like a coffin at night. So, but Abdul the lady seem to be enjoying riding it, I guess. So,
but from nowhere, he's actually all over the media. Everything he's doing is gone viral in the past week.
So, maybe that will bring him more views online, you know.
Definitely. If he has anything behind it,
If he has anything, maybe to draw a lot of crowd to his music. Maybe just by doing that act, so you never know. People come up with any strategy of being relevant.
I wonder what's going to happen to the money he spent already, right? Because the guy gave him money too.
So the money is not dirty. Somehow the money is guilty. It's only the car that is dirty.
Dennis Lissa albodi and ask for Jubal, and Shabab. Sometimes people even asking a child to give them a car, composing songs to encourage. Gonna put this in topic, whatever. Should they do it?
Talking about witchcraft, Ashaiwir has her share before, but I think
is that what landed her in prison last time? She was in prison apparently, right, for some time.
I'm not sure how, but she was accused of witchcraft as well.
Okay.
But it's not that you can be in prison for anything, as long as
but I actually applaud her. Like she has done a lot actually to encourage music in South Sudan. From what I understand, that she was the one sponsoring Ali Juma, and she has a sponsor also John Frog. In some of her music. And I think
K2, right? Remember the promoter K2 was bringing K2, in a lot of
I think they're related with K2.
His brother.
His brother, right? Yeah. So those are really good things, and I really applaud those people who are trying to encourage music by promoting artists, investing in artists. Going back to the story about the musician who burned the car. Those things are subject to individual interpretation. Because they are the ones seeing coffin. We don't see it, but they are the ones seeing. Is it true they're seeing coffin? Is it not true? It is something that we don't see. But still, I'm maintaining, what is coming, like what has been happening in Africa in the last 10-20 years. To me, it is just something that outrageous, like Christian kind of religion, but it's not Christianity. people are coming with a different kind of interpretation of the Bible. And when you look deep, a lot of atrocity has been committed through those kind of interpretation. Finas Mashapi Jokinisa, they burn themselves down. Finas were asked to eat grasses. There is a lot of things that when you look at them, like it's just something that you don't understand.
I think as long as we have a society like in African society where you have more churches than hospitals or schools, you're gonna have a sick society, definitely. You're gonna have a very sick society. You know, you go to all the urban centers, you can walk distance without seeing any school, but you see hundreds and hundreds of churches from shouting there, I don't know, trying to go to heaven or something like that. So as long as you have that kind of culture, you're gonna have a sick society that always believe in witchcraft. They will never believe in any science and stuff. I mean, we have more pastors, no engineers, no doctors. You know, everybody's trying to become a pastor. So we have a sick society. So you're gonna have this kind of phenomenon where people will be seeing coffins or cats in their or snakes in their house.
You know, I have a sister in Uganda, and she was telling me about the anointed oil. The Bashiri. Fear anointed oil is more Lion of Judah. That one is sold in the black market. I think
$1,000 US.
Yeah, because if you have it, you have all the wealth.
You know, anointed already. Wow.
I wonder why his members are not wealthy. He seems to be the only wealthy one.
It's more the Lion of Judah. That anointed oil. And Intercan, if you happen to get this oil, all your problem is solved. So that's why it is sold in the black market. And Finas Almane Bishtaru, and then they come and sell it at the black market.
Wow. It's commercialism in the religion. It's crazy. All right, let's go to Nigeria for our final story. Of course, Nigeria has decided to include some of the activities like plumbing, makeup, hairstyle, and phone repair, interior design, into the curriculum, baking, and all that kind of stuff into the basic education curriculum. And this is basically to boost students' practical skills and employability. The subjects will start operating this coming month for primary and junior secondary school students across the country. I think it's a positive, right? Should South Sudan also incorporate practical subjects like that into the curriculum? I know our curriculum for now is basically theory-based. It's not very practical, only maybe in the technical side, but not really that, whatever. But what do you think?
Schools should always be adjusting. Learning should be adjusted according to the present dynamics, right? You can't just, like, whatever education we have, we are reading colonial books that are written, I don't know, many years ago, reading about the Mandela history that don't help us. So definitely, the education goes with the current situation. Like, look at it over here now. Our kids here, they're being taught AI now. They're discussing about AI, how it's going to change things. So education should flow. With the system. If there's any change, if like, for example, people have seen a lot of logging taking place in education over there, introduce environmental studies into the school system. Planting of trees, practical planting of trees, and things like that. So it's a good thing that should be emulated everywhere. It should be common sense phenomenon that education flows with the current situation.
Dennis, your take?
I agree with Bakumba that education should be relevant because in our generation, like most of the things that we learn at the school, we didn't make any use of it. Like, we learn a lot of things. You spend the whole academic year learning about something that it is totally irrelevant. It is totally irrelevant. So I agree with those subjects that are being introduced in Nigerian education system. With the exception of some other thing like maybe it should have been introduced also because it's a skill, right?
Hacking and all that. happy.
Yeah.
Most of these companies like Apple and Samsung, they actually hire, what do they call them? Those good hackers. They are called
Yahoo boys.
No, they have it. They actually have a term for if you are a good hacker, they can pay you to hack their system, so they can be able to.
Is it kind of a ransom hack?
No, this one actually you are
like
hired by Apple or you are hired by
Samsung. Who will tell you how to steal.
Samsung is telling you, Apple telling you, Dennis, can you hack our phone? Let's see. So that we can be able to cover the loophole. Yeah. So all the companies do that actually.
Yeah. I hope they don't introduce the juju, science and technology. Otherwise, people will start flying around in brooms and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yazol.
that brings us to the end of the episode. Of course, very short and sweet for this week. We thank you for watching, and we'll always look forward to seeing you every Sunday. So please don't forget to share, subscribe, and comment, and go to our YouTube channel, Yazol TV. That's where you'll find all the videos. And of course, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The three amigos on Facebook at Lissa, at DJ Bakumba, and myself at Dedi Seyi.
Actually, my Facebook name have changed to Dennis again.
Yeah. So Lissa, that's why. Yeah. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Of course, thank you Bakumba, thank you Dennis, and may God bless you out there, and may God bless our good country, South Sudan.
Yazol.